Welcome back to Until They Sleep. This is Chantel.
And I'm Daniel.
And we have moved our studio and our recording to a different room, so the sound might be different. We haven't really tested it yet. And we also now no longer have a door to close our cats away. So, yeah, we might have some interruptions in here if they decide to knock things down or jump up on our desks, because they do that.
Or children might walk in the middle of the recording now.
Yes, I know we need to get a door eventually, but we moved it into the den, and unfortunately there's no door in our den currently, but we will remedy that.
Maybe not.
Enough. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we'll just move everything back to our room with a door. So that's that just preempting if anything happens. So what do you want to talk about? Anything and everything? Kind of didn't really have a topic set up for tonight.
50-50. We usually don't.
I mean, sometimes we'll say,
kind of have an idea.
Let's talk about this today.
Winging it. Well, once again, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to another fun-filled episode. This is what, number 8 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 8. We made it to 8. So awesome. That's what, 7 more than we thought we were getting.
Well, but we said we were going to record no matter what, and we're doing this more for us.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Well, I mean, let's see. We can do our family news, which is actually I know everything that's going on because it's been a pretty crazy.
Well,
week.
It's actually we really haven't talked this week.
No, we don't need to talk. We kind of know what's going on. It's just been a crazy.
And but in general, like during the day, like I've been in here working. Or you're getting your stuff ready, you're going, cars, my doctor's appointments. It's just kind of, I haven't really seen you that much this week. Like this weekend I saw you, but during the week I didn't see you.
Yeah, no, yesterday morning when I got to see the family, when I sat down, I kind of got a pretty good update from the kids. You know, they were telling me about their week. They were very exciting. You know, they had... I'm a horrible dad at moments. Yeah, I forgot about the field trips. You had told me about them, and my mind just slipped completely.
Yeah, so our 6-year-old had a field trip, and she went to Penny Pickles Museum.
Yeah.
It's a kids' museum, and she loved it. She said her favorite thing was where you build a house, and then you simulate an earthquake, and it falls apart, and she thought that was very cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. We went there a long time ago, right?
Yeah, a very long time ago. And then our 10-year-old, he went to Riverside Community College for a play of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, he told me he likes the movie better.
Yeah, he got home and he put the movie on and it was on a Friday, so it worked out, but he got home, he put the movie on. I'm like, what, you didn't love the play? He's like, yeah, no, Mom. It's like the movie's way better. So.
Yeah, he did tell me that. He told me they had a field trip and they went to see a play, which was Mary Poppins, and yeah, that his head hurt because everybody was too loud. I guess they were like interactive.
Yeah, it was like an interactive Mary Poppins, is what he said. And it was super loud, and I think he was just having a bad day in general. So. Well,
I mean, you raised him with Mary Poppins. I mean, that was your thing, right? I mean, you made that for all the kids. For me, I never cared for Mary Poppins. I never watched it. I mean, if anything, I felt forced to watch that by you. Same thing with The Sound of Music.
Oh, yeah, we watched The Sound of Music this week, too.
See, I would have never seen those movies if it wasn't for you.
Well, those are movies I grew up watching. So.
Yeah, I didn't. But they're cute. I mean, they're good family movies.
They're family movies. They're good, wholesome, you know. Some of them teach you a little history.
Yeah.
Kind of what the world is like, was like in different places.
Yeah, I remember when the first time I heard you say that thing from that song, that I was like, I don't know what you just said to me, but did you just curse at me?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that.
yeah, that.
It's such a fun word to say.
I was going to try it, but I was going to slaughter it probably, so I decided not to go down there.
You can still try. Nothing wrong with trying.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I mean, I remember you introduced the girls to it. And they were telling me about it when they were little girls. So that's why I watched it, because they were like, come on, we have to watch it. And I was like, oh, you did this to me.
Well, okay, so the eldest, I guess she was singing. I think it was Mary. Yeah, she was singing Mary Poppins in the car with her mom. And her mom was like, how the heck do you know that song? And she's like, "Oh yeah, I watch it with my dad and Mom S." And then she got dirty looks or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
just remember it wasn't a positive experience.
Yeah, for her, yeah. Yeah, and then we watched it with our kids, right?
Yeah.
Each time we have the kid and they get to a certain age,
Well, again, it's wholesome
yeah.
TV.
No,
you know,
yeah,
like
for sure.
There's so many things.
I mean,
on TV.
and they're going to get to high school and eventually sometimes they're going to see a play.
Yeah.
Obviously one just did.
Well, and I'm just saying, I mean, there's so many things on TV these days that we don't want the kids to watch. So,
but movies like that, I mean, they're iconic, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, how old are they, right? It's kind of like we talked about movies on the last episode, like Princess Bride, and it's still going and it's still,
Yeah.
popular. And like, they're just iconic. They have like iconic actors in it, that just, I mean, who doesn't know who Julie Andrews is, right? Or Dick
Even
Van
though,
Dyke,
so that's why I put Sound of Music on, because they watched Mary Poppins and then they watched her in Sound of Music. They had no idea she was the same person.
Okay, yeah.
Because she's a brunette in one, she's a short blonde in the other. And I was
Right.
like, that's Mary Poppins, guys. And they're like, what? And so, but yes, we definitely expose our kids to things that most of their friends have no.
Yeah.
idea.
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, they watch like those fantasy movies from the '80s, and their friends are like, "What are you talking about?" They don't know that. Even music wise,
Yeah.
they're
Oh, well,
like,
come on. They know Rocky's and Godfather. None of their friends know Rocky and Godfather.
no,
So, I mean, there's lots of.
Predator. And
Well,
stuff
we
like
show
that.
them the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I mean, they've seen Conan,
Yeah, the
The
original,
original,
right? And
the
remake.
original. We've exposed them to all these different things that we grew up watching, and it was no big deal, when we were growing up. But there are things that people nowadays don't. Either they didn't watch them growing up, or they did, and it just wasn't memorable for them. So they
Yeah.
just don't bother showing their kids.
I like. Yeah, it's cool.
It's the same thing with music, right?
Yeah.
Like that's our teenager, our 14-year-old. He's always saying that. His seventh period teacher told me actually that he loves being able to talk to our kid about his music, because I guess he's about our age. So he's like, he's the only kid in class that understands whenever he makes
A reference.
a reference to music from our time. Our son's the only one who gets it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I grew up. The music that I listen to is because also my parents, right?
Yeah,
And my
me
brothers.
too. Mm-hmm.
So it's just a cycle that I guess everybody should do. I mean, some parents just, I guess, let their kids be, but they're not like, oh, here, sit down, listen to this,
And we definitely do that. But it's because we like music in general.
Yeah.
And we want them to have an understanding of all these different types of musics. What's
So-
wrong? Your face looks like totally...
I was just trying to figure it out, like other things. That leads to I think I know what conversation we're gonna have today. I kind of want to talking about that and thinking about like it made me think about siblings, and you had your siblings, two out of three of your siblings over this weekend.
They were. Mm-hmm.
And then you
Celebrating
guys
birthdays.
you had the conversations, and it's just how things are. And then the Super Bowl just passed, and there was two siblings playing, and like just watching and seeing how they handle that, and then making me think about like the siblings that the relationship that our kids have. And then maybe also think about...
Oh, you also made them watch Charlie St. Cloud.
Yeah, that's where I was going. And I made them watch a movie about siblings, because they're always kind of fighting. Well, at least the boys are, like
But
that.
they love each other. I think it's just normal sibling.
The way that
rivalry.
they're siblings, I've never seen siblings like that.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I've seen some kind of like that, so in a way. But I wasn't like that.
But you also always remind me that you were technically an only child.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm even talking about the person I call my little brother.
Yeah. Well, but again, it's
And then
still a
again,
different relationship.
I don't think that you and your brothers got along like like our boys do.
My brothers say that they got along the same.
I don't know.
They've told me. Okay. So my youngest brother, he got picked on a lot.
Because he was the youngest one.
He
Yeah,
was the baby, and he's super spoiled by mom. And we all definitely bullied him to a certain extent. And that was just normal. Like, yeah, my mom was just leave him alone. Don't do that to him. Similarly to when ours are acting up or bullying each other. I'm like, hey, stop it. Leave each other alone. Don't be so rude.
I kind of don't. I kind of let them. I kind of let them go.
I let them go, but then I get tired of hearing it and I'll tell them to stop.
I just laugh because
far.
our second, right? He's just always wants his brother's love and attention.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little trash talker, and he likes to push his
big
buttons,
trash
right?
talker,
So he pushes his buttons and stuff like that. So I get that part, but like the oldest is, I know it's the age, and he's going through that awkward phase, and he's trying to, find his identity because he's even distant with us and kind of quiet.
Yeah, that's normal for this age.
But I've always seen him like that. It's just the way that he talks to him or the way he pushes him away. But there are moments when I see them like talking trash to each other,
and they love it.
Yeah, but it's like it makes me happy because I know they're joking, right? The way that they're saying it, and then.
Or sometimes we send them to go do chores together, and they're playing and goofing off and getting along fabulously.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
I just remember, like, okay, so when I was a kid, I mean, he wasn't my real brother, but in my heart, he was my brother, even though he's my nephew. And, man, I took care of him, like nobody could do anything to him. I made sure that he had breakfast. I made sure that he was dressed. I mean, like I would stop by, pick him up on our way to school and just, just be there to protect him for the year or two that I was there, after that we were still going separate, but I would see him almost every weekend. I would go out of my way to try to go see him, check in on him.
But again,
I did it all the way till we were grown ups, and then we were in our separate ways. We check in on each other once in a while. Like today, I sent him a text talking crap at the beginning of the Super Bowl because he's a big Chiefs fan.
I've noticed that when you talk to him, it's literally only ever about sports and comic books.
Dragon Ball.
And Dragon Ball Z. Like, those are the only three things you guys ever talk about. Like, to my knowledge, you guys don't talk about family. You guys don't talk about, like, things that matter. Like,
well, we do, but we keep it to ourselves.
First of all, you guys don't talk that often.
No.
He goes.
No, we went our separate ways. Like, yeah, we because we're so different, though.
Especially now.
And we both admit it. Like, we're not really brothers. Like, again, it's different.
But that's what I'm saying. When you were little, though, and you had that big brother.
We talked about everything.
Yeah, it was different but you had that responsibility on yourself, right? You told me that your mom told you to take care of him, and you took that to heart, right? I have one of my brothers. He did something similar with one of his cousins, right? Where our grandmother told one of my brothers to take care of this one cousin because they were about the same age, and he took that to heart. So like the same way that you say you took care of your nephew is the same way that my brother took care of this cousin until there was a breaking point as they were older.
Yeah, but I guess it's one of the things where you grew up and you realize that you don't have as much as common as you did when you were growing up, right?
But
and
I don't
that kind of
think it's
helps.
just common. It's just getting it, like you told me with this brother, right? You protected him so much that every time he didn't worry about getting bullied. He didn't worry about not having lunch money. He didn't worry about these things because he knew that you would take care of it. And then in a way, right, you used to tell me that they would make fun of him when you guys were older, when you guys were teenagers, that other members of the family would make fun of him for being lazy, for not doing things on his own because you always did everything for him. So is that a healthy relationship? Was that a good thing for you to overprotect him?
No, it could be 50-50 because the fact that I did stuff for him doesn't mean that he took that shit for granted that, Daniel's going to do it for me. I mean, it's just the kind of person he is, even now as a grown-ass man. I mean.
Yeah, but again, so are these things that siblings instill in each other when they're little? Okay, like the oldest girls, right? When they were little, the oldest one did everything for her little sister because she was disabled. And because of that, she would speak on her behalf. She understood her grunts and whatever noises she would make, and she would go and do everything. And I think prolong the development of the younger one because it didn't force her to do anything
Yeah,
for
maybe
herself.
but that's your point of view, because if you think about it, all siblings do that for the younger ones, right? They always know exactly. I mean, our boys did it too. You know, when the
Well,
other one was small, he would just point and the other one would do it. And I mean, as far as I know, he's not,
and I
handicapped.
understand, and I
And the
understand
girls
that
do the same thing, right?
I understand that siblings do that.
Yeah, I mean, the baby does
But
it. I mean, you
there's
guys did it with your siblings too.
no,
I saw some of the home videos, and you know what, two are fighting, the other one's, disappearing with stuff, or the other one will say he wants something, and then everybody's like trying to get it for him, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Like one will actually do it, the other one's like, no, do it this way, or you do it for yourself, or
yeah. See, I don't recall in the way we were raised that we babied one another, where that it was very much. It wasn't like dog eat dog in our house for sure. It was very help.
well,
one
it wasn't
another.
like that in my house either,
It was help one another.
because I was by myself, so
But that's what I'm saying. It's a
it
different.
was more
dynamic.
competitive though.
Yeah. See, my brothers and I were never. I imagine they were competitive.
But see, it was different though.
themselves.
Mine were not siblings though. The people I was competitive were like nephews that were my age, or cousins.
Or
you know?
because your family made you be competitive with them.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Families aren't supposed to make you be competitive with your cousins.
why not?
Because why would you pit them? It's like my parents.
But that's how life is. But life is a competition. Everything's always going to be a
But I don't
competition.
think you should be in competition with your family.
Why not?
You're supposed to have each other's back.
You do. That's your family.
But it's not a
because
competition.
because you're competitive with somebody doesn't mean that they're not family. Or that you're not going to look out for
do you get
them.
along with those people?
I tried to get along with them, yeah.
But they have no love for you.
No.
So
it's not me. I'm not the one with the problem. They're the ones with the problem.
Because they were raised to be competitive with you.
Okay, that's fine. But
that's
I don't
my
hold a
point.
grudge against
Competition
them.
is not. I don't think you should be competitive.
My
with
brother,
your
my
family.
brother and me were competitive as hell, and we still
And
talk.
what's your relationship now? It's not as close as it used to be.
I don't need it to be closer. It's fine the way it is. I'm not in a needy conversation. Like I don't need it.
I don't think that's true.
Constant love and attention from him.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I'm not saying you need constant love and attention from your brother or your nephew or your sibling, any of your siblings. I'm just saying the relationship of understanding and acceptance from them is not there. They don't accept you for who you are, and they're not there for you.
Well, it's not my fault that they're sensitive.
Well,
That's what it comes down to. I mean, so if they raise me to be competitive and they put me down and they talk shit the whole time and they made me be competitive and I grew up competitive with them, right? And then if I was raised to always be blunt and no filter and let them know what I think, because that's how their mom made me, right? And that's how she talked to them, but it was different because I was their mom.
yeah.
But I'm the half brother.
the
No,
half-brother.
I'm the half brother. I'm half the family. That's the thing with them, though. I'm not part of the family because I'm only half. So I think that's their issue, because anybody else can talk to them and say shit to them, and they get bothered or whatever, they argue, and that was fine. If I did it, it would be a fight, an argument, or go tell daddy about it, so that and then me and daddy are getting on a fight,
But
right?
again, that's because of the competitive nature in which you
No,
were
I just think it's
raised.
because they're sensitive. Because I told them they don't accept me because I'm half.
I don't know. I see that
Look,
competitiveness.
my brother, right? My oldest brother, I love him to death. He was awesome with me. Okay. I'll never forget this. To me, it was one of the most hilarious things ever. I call him and I was like, "What's up, bro? How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, who is this?" I was like, "It's your brother." "My brother? You don't sound like my brother." I was like, "Well, I'm your brother." It was like, "No, the bastard." "Oh, I don't appreciate that. Why would you call yourself that? Why are you saying it like that?" I was like, "Well, hold on. But now you know who the fuck I am, huh?" "Oh, yeah." I was like, the whole time I said it's your brother, you were like, "Who are you?" "I don't know who you are." But the moment I said that, like that, you knew who I was. Right?
Because you know what they really
But
think
then he
about
was
you.
butthurt about it. Then he went and told our dad about it. Then my dad was upset. I was like, that just wraps up the relationship in the family and me. Like, period. Like, that's the simplest.
I completely understand that that's what that relationship is like. And I really wasn't talking about them. I'm talking about your nephew. So, because you were talking about your relationship with your nephew.
Yeah, but we weren't competitive in ways like who did better at school, or you know, who did better at this or who got more money or who got better
It's
grades.
like that now.
No, no, no. For me, the competitiveness was more like in sports. When we play sports, that was our competitive. That's when we were like
You mean your
actually
hustling games?
no. It was just like we would get worked up. Like we would actually argue and fight. Like you know, like we would start punching each other. Like, oh, you dropped the ball. What are you like? You know, like because that's where our competitiveness was. But on the other side, it's like we were always looking out for one another. Like we were always wanting each other to do good or have fun or like I wish sincerely everybody that I know, I wish them the best. I want them to succeed, right? I've always said that. I don't hold
But
grudges. I'm not jealous.
why does it feel that though, even as adults, there's still competition, even if it's not coming from you, on his end or their end, it's still competition.
Right. So that you just said it. That's the key word right there. It's not me. It's
And
them.
I'm not saying it's you, but because you guys grew up with this idea of competition, now as adults, they don't get it. Like that's not what it's supposed to be
But that's
about.
not being competitive. That's being jealous.
Well, isn't that? Well, yeah, I agree.
That's jealousy. That's a
level
different
of
thing.
jealousy.
If somebody's
now that
jealous,
you're an adult, yeah.
yeah, as an adult, it's a jealousy because like, oh well, why is he doing better than me, or why does he have this, or why does he have that, or how is it that he can't do this?
But there's always showing off too, right? Oh, look at what I got, or look at what I did. Something that maybe you talked about getting and
Yeah.
haven't gotten yet, but they go and get it first.
It happens all the time. It's kind of like
My siblings and I don't do that.
yeah, but I'm not saying just my siblings. I'm just saying in general, people. You know, just people in general. Like I always set this example: sixth grade. Oh, I like that girl. Oh, really? Oh, she's ugly. And then next thing you know, everybody's asking that girl out for for the dance. I was like, that's so funny. So nobody cared about her until I said that she was pretty.
Well,
Right?
because they don't expect that you could get her.
oh no, you don't like that movie? Oh, I thought it was a great movie. Oh, next thing you know, they're like the experts of everything about that movie. Or like, oh, I like this sport, and then all of a sudden they're trying to learn that sport, right? Or like you said, oh, I like this car, or I like this business, or I like this. Oh, I'm doing this too. I guess some people just want to be one-uppers. It's
Yeah.
just natural for them, right?
I guess I don't have a circle of people that are like that. Like my circle of people, I don't feel that they're one-uppers. Not within my family, not with anybody I would consider a friend. But for you, it seems like everyone around you is like that. And I wonder if it is because of your competitive nature, whereas I'm not competitive. And then I know that you're not the envious type and that you're always proud of people for succeeding in life. But I think it's because in my circle with my own family, with my siblings, we're not like that. It hurts me sometimes to see that they're like that with you.
Why? Why are you giving it power though? Like,
No, because as your wife, I mean, come on. Our kids don't know your side of the family.
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, but it still is sad to me because that's not the relationship I have with my family.
But it shouldn't be sad for you.
Well, it's still sad. I mean,
No,
I
it's
can be
not.
sad.
There's that's the thing about life. Like there's times when people are so negative or the environment is so bad that why would you want your
Well,
children to be a part of that?
I'm not sad that the kids aren't around that energy. I'm sad that they don't understand what they're missing out on. You know what I mean? Like that they can't see how great of a person you are and that there's no need to be the way they are. All of them, from your nephew to all your siblings, all of them. Because we don't see them. Your sister, we don't see them. The kids don't see them because of whatever way you guys were raised. Our kids don't have aunts and uncles on your side of the family.
Well, you know what? I mean, my dad always said, if you show up to a group of friends and everybody's an asshole, and you go play sports and everybody on your team's an asshole, and you go home and everybody's an asshole, maybe they're not the assholes, maybe you're the asshole,
Yeah.
right? So what's it say? I'm not the asshole.
Well,
It seems like you're saying that everybody around me is being like that, so maybe I'm just
something
that asshole.
about you.
Yeah.
Something about you that makes everyone want to be competitive with you or one up you.
I actually think, no, part of the reason why people are like that, honestly, and it's one of the things that you kind of disliked about me when you first met me. I think it's just that I have that face, I have that jerk face. and people are
Well,
just like, ugh.
I
And then they
have,
get to know me, and they're like, oh, this guy's really nice, right?
yeah,
But then at the same time, I call it the alpha male.
you do.
You know, it's just like the
You know who
people.
you are, and you're confident, and
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't care what they think. I don't. I've said it before. I have no problem dropping people. Like,
yeah. Oh, I know. I'm well aware.
yeah, I have no. Yeah, cutting ties sometimes is necessary. You know, people fall off the journey. Like my life journey is my life journey, and I'm fine with it. You know, it's like if you are there and you help me and I learn something in the process, then I thank you for it. If you can't hang around because I'm too confident or I'm too blunt, or then what's that one guy at work that hates me because he says I can't trust that guy. He's always too happy. He's always like I can't trust somebody that's always happy. I was like, it sucks being you, buddy. Like I'm alive. I have reasons to be alive. There's a
To be
lot of
happy.
great things in life.
Yeah.
I can be mad. I can be upset. I can be going through a hard time, but I'm going to get through it sooner or later. Like, when we have issues and everything, it's like, hey, well, I don't have an answer, but hang in there. We'll get through it. We'll get through it, right?
Yeah.
And then we always do.
Yeah, but I mean, again, talking about siblings, definitely, we already know our worlds.
Yeah, I wouldn't
worlds
know.
are completely
yeah,
different.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know because obviously my siblings were older than me and they were half siblings. And then I have a sister, and we had an argument and a fight and we don't talk. Like we kind of send each other messages now.
Years later, yes.
Yeah, like a little, like whatever memes or whatever. Like, but she's always sending me religious shit, and I'm just like, oh, thank you. I send her pictures of the girls. But that's it. I mean, I try to be a loving person. I've reached out to everyone, but I'm only gonna try a couple of times, and then I'm gonna drop you off. And that's the sad part, right? Yes, I agree with you on that one, I guess. But I really don't care. Same thing with the other one. I always feel that he reaches out only when he needs something.
I agree.
Like you said, like, or when he wants to show off something. It's good for him. I'm glad. Like, in a way, I'm like, oh, well, it's not funny. That's funny. Isn't that what I wanted? Or then I mentioned that. And then they're like, oh, yeah, it's not for me. I don't like it. And then they get rid of it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then, but whatever, I laugh. But that's the thing. I see you and I see your siblings, and you guys sit down and have conversations and you voice your point of view. You clown on each other. You get along. But then that's the difference, though, too. You all have the same parents.
I don't know that you have to have the same parents to have a good relationship with your siblings. I don't think it's necessary. I think again, I go back to the fact that you were raised in competition with everybody. Even though you were so much younger than them, there was always a sense of, oh, he's the baby boy. He took away the spot from the previous baby boy. What did your dad give to you that he didn't give to them? They were always making sure that you were in trouble for things you didn't do.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. Like, I think...
Or my brothers would never do that to me.
I think the thing... But that's the... But again, they're your brothers.
Well, yeah, but we weren't raised in competition.
No, but it's not
sure
competition.
That there's families out there. I'm sure that there's half siblings out there who get along fabulously.
But you just say half siblings, right? It's
you.
I don't think so. I think all half siblings don't get along because they're always competing.
If there are any half siblings listening to this, please let us know. Do you have a positive communicative relationship with your siblings, or is it all about
or your
competition?
Parent? Because it's one or the other. Either you don't get along with the parent, or you don't get along with the siblings. I know a couple of guys
you that share. Either.
I know a couple of guys that have the same father, yet the dad treats one great and treats the other one like dirt.
Okay.
It's like I've heard it.
I've heard that too. Yes.
Yeah. So it's but the siblings, the other sibling feels bad for him, so he looks out for him, takes care of him, loves him. It's like, oh, I don't know why pops is like that.
Yeah, I don't know why mom is like that. Either of those things.
No, because in a lot of ways, I'm like my dad. I'll cut off people. It doesn't matter.
And that's what he does.
And he's very a very proud person, and he holds on to grudges, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want, when I get angry and like him and me don't talk, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of saying, you gave in.
Which is the exact same thing he's probably thinking.
Exactly, but I have given in.
You have. You've called. You
I've
have.
tried, right?
Yeah, you have. You've
I've
tried.
been the better man.
Yes.
Okay, but they made the decision. So if they're proving to me that they don't need me and they don't want me in their lives, why do I want to beg people to make me a
But
part of
my
their
point
lives?
is that, again, the way you were raised has edified the type of relationship or lack of
No,
relationship
no,
that
no,
you
no.
have with these people.
The way I was raised should have made me put a bullet in my head a long time ago. The way I was raised should have made me a junkie and a druggie and a bum or whatever else. That's what I deserved in life.
That is not what you
No,
deserved in
yes,
life.
but
No, it's not.
yes, it
Because
is.
you were
But
not,
no, because of the
you
way I
did
was
not do
raised.
anything. No.
Exactly.
You did not do
But
anything
the
wrong.
type of person that I am, aside from all those obstacles and all that negativity or hate or jealousy or resentment, whatever it was, I didn't let it. I was like a duck, right? It just, they were water, I was a duck. It just went off my feathers. It didn't matter. Maybe that competitive nature helped me because I was like, I am not going to give you the satisfaction of being what you're expecting me to be. I'm going to be a better person.
Okay.
I'm going to be a loving father. I'm going to be a loving husband. I'm going to be a great friend. I'm going to be, a great sibling and a great human being.
But are you a great sibling?
I think so.
Yeah, you do try. You
I
have tried.
I think so.
But they don't reciprocate. None of them,
No.
honestly.
No, it's like I said before. Like, I'll try to be in your life, but if it doesn't, it's a two-way street. If you don't try, then I'm done trying. I'll reach out. I'll try. But if you show me,
But I still don't agree with the fact that you say that it's because my brothers and I have the same parents. You can have the same parents and be totally effed up and hate your
Yeah.
siblings and hate your parents. So having the same parents has nothing to do with it.
agree to disagree. That's your point of view. Though.
Again, anybody out there have?
I mean, yeah, there's
pros?
people. There's
Okay,
people that
take sides. Go ahead. Let
there
us
are
know.
there are people that they have the same parents and each 4 kids, right? Let's say for example they have 4 kids and all 4 kids are different.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I mean, my
right?
brothers and I are all completely different.
Oh yeah, you guys are 4, and we
There's
have
4
4,
and we have.
But you might have one of them that's evil or bad or a druggie or whatever,
Yeah.
and all the other ones are upset or whatever not, and they'll never understand why the parents are always there unconditionally supporting and loving and caring and whatever. But it's another one of their kids.
But again, it has nothing to do with having the same parents.
Okay, he says so.
Having the same parents or having step parents, I don't think it has anything to do with it. It has to do with if it's in you to have a good relationship with your siblings, does it help if your parents are nice and show you how to be proper humans? Yeah, that's very helpful. But like you said, you got yourself through all the crap you went through. You chose to be a good human, right? They choose to not be good humans, and they're your half siblings. There's other people out there who have half siblings, and they all choose to be good humans.
But they still have a jealousy though. Some of them have a jealousy.
I don't-
I don't know.
I don't think
I don't fucking know.
I don't think it's everybody. I agree. Some do, but not everybody.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I can keep on going about this forever. We can keep on arguing.
Well, you're
about
just
it.
gonna keep saying the same thing over and over again. But I don't know. What was your point then about siblings in general?
Yeah, I know. You went on a tangent. I was not trying to make it about me. I was trying to talking about the beauty about how some siblings get along and why is it different. Like, I just thought it was nice because I didn't have that, obviously, right? Because, like you said, they were all older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's a different scenario. The only thing that I ever had close to a brother was my nephew, and you pretty much just discredited that by saying that.
I'm not discrediting that you had nice childhood with him.
Yeah, that's why he's my brother.
I just don't see that translated into adulthood. So whatever there is or was as you guys were growing up, that relationship is not as strong now for sure as it was then. And same thing with me, right? You're saying it depends on
I was
your
needy
parents.
back then, right? I needed a place to stay. So, like, I remember there was a time when I needed a place to stay, and I stayed with him and my sister and his dad.
But
And things were fine, right? But we argued and we fought. But we both had to grow up soon, like pretty fast too, because I mean, we went through some rough times. Like,
Yeah,
you know, there was like
I'm
no
aware.
food and there was no nothing. So, you know, he had to do his own thing. He went his own way. I went my own way, you know, and like you said, you know, sometimes when I came back, I was different.
You were
I
different.
changed. And even he was different. Everybody changed. Everybody grows up. You know, things happen in our lives that make us a little bit different. Later on in life, more stuff has happened. I really don't know what happened. Like I got to a point where we never lost contact, and then one day we just he was upset, he was mad, and he stopped talking to me for years. Right? He didn't want to see me. He didn't want to get off the car and say hi or whatever. And that's when it all started. That's when we just drifted apart.
But I still don't know why.
Exactly. So for me at that moment was like, okay, now you let me know we're not brothers. Right?
Yeah.
So I'll cut off.
Again, but so I'm not discrediting that you had beautiful memories or a good childhood with that person, with that sibling, that person you called a sibling. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, but when it came down to it, we're not real brothers, right?
Well, but even with the ones that are your brothers, even the ones that are your half siblings, my point being, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but to me, they're not my brothers. They're my half brothers. Like I always wanted to make them my brothers, right? I'll make them my sisters,
And
right?
that's on them.
Exactly. And I reached out and I tried to be there. Did they help me out in life in moments? Yes. I don't forget what they did. I don't forget my sister that sat there when I was a kid and I was flunking, and she was frustrated trying to teach me math for like when I was in second or third grade. I won't forget that. I won't forget the times that she fed me and took care of me. I won't forget my other sister that when I was out in the streets, she was like, you know what, I'm going through a divorce. Come, I'll figure it out somehow, but you don't need to be staying at other people's places. I'll take care of you. I'll become your guardian. Like you need to finish school. You need to get your act together, right? I won't forget her for that. Like I'm always gonna have love her for that, right? And then I had my other sister when I came back, who was there. She was my ear, and I was her ear, and like we never got along. And then when I was already a grown up, like somehow we clicked, and our relationship and the way we talked was wonderful, was beautiful. I was like having a best friend. And then what happened?
It all
went away. It all went away. Why? I don't know. One dumb comment, their mom passing away, the jealousy. Is it the fight with my dad, and my dad told them don't talk to him anymore? Maybe. So their loyalty lies with their father, right? Mm-hmm. That's their father. I'm just a half sibling.
And his loyalty lies with them.
Yeah. So maybe that's what caused it. So, but my oldest brother, if it wasn't for him, half the stuff I like wouldn't exist. I would have never become a gearhead. I would have never worked on motorcycles. Would have never ridden motorcycles, and I would have never been to the desert, camping, NASCAR, country music, construction. Like snowboarding, fishing. That was all what my big brother did. And my other brother, it was all the partying, the music, the driving fast, the crashing.
The irresponsible stuff.
The women, the dancing, the cooking, all the seafood cooking. That's what I learned from my second brother, right? Like from oldest to youngest. The fighting, the street fighting rules. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he taught me how to fight. Like it was like so I learned important things that were there for important factors of my life. The trash talking, I learned it from him. So they were important people in my life that molded me. But unfortunately, it's like we just stopped. I called all of them for their birthdays. They never answered. I called them for Father's Day. They never answered. They did stuff for me. I thank them for it. I wish I could still be in their lives. I try to be there in even tough times. But when my oldest brother was diagnosed with cancer and nobody cared to call me or let me know, and none of them called me to let me know he passed away, it had to be the one that
the nephew
has nothing to do with the side of the family to call me. When it's a cousin and they let me know, and it's a shock to me. Like it's just that reminded me that I'm cut off from the family and they don't want me to be there. And they didn't need me. And even my dad said that. You know, he died surrounded by people that he loved and that I loved them, meaning I wasn't loved and I'm not needed to.
And I was super mad about all that, by the way. I hated
So
all of that.
why, you know?
I'm that's what makes me sad.
But I don't need them.
No,
I don't
I
dwell on it.
understand that you don't need them, but it still makes me sad that they can't appreciate the person that you are because they're so full of themselves.
Yes, but it's not my loss. You gotta look at it that way. It's their loss.
Well, I don't know what the point is. You want to talk about siblings and how beautiful sibling relationships are.
It can be, yeah. It's nice. I see you guys, and you guys talk and joke, and it's
Yeah.
nice. You know, you guys always say the same stories when you were kids, and that's cool. I didn't have that. You know, I hear people always talk about their brothers. There are people that I know that like really dislike their other brothers or something, you know, because they're the babies and they're spoiled or whatever. So maybe that's me, like you said. Maybe in my dad's eyes, I was a baby, so there was something about the way that my dad and I spoke that they never understood because nobody ever talked to him like that or hung out with him like that. You know, they got him at the time. I don't know. Maybe he's younger. I mean, I know I'm older and I'm a different dad than I was when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was the same thing, you know. But like you said, all I ever talked about with my dad it was what, cars and football.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe work.
Which is what I feel the same thing with your sibling, your nephew. Is
that was our life. There's like nothing else in our life. Like what do I want to say? We'll talk about my marriage. Talk about my kids. Like I might. I mean, it's nothing new to him. He already went through it.
I mean, there's not like a. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so I guess the point is that as you grow up,
we're not going to talk about religion.
Well, no,
we're not going to talk about stocks. We're not going to talk.
Grow up, you know, your siblings who are your best, and I think we covered this on the friends topic, right? In the friends episode, we touched on this: the fact that can your siblings be your best friends, right? And then as children, yeah, sure, why not? In the sense of that's who you spend all your time with, but you don't really think of them as your best friend. You think of them as they're just your sibling.
Well, that's family,
right? And there's some kids like who choose like, oh, my brother's my best friend or my sister's my best friend because they know everything about each other, right? And they're there for each other and they have each other's back, and that sometimes translates into adulthood. And then a lot of times it doesn't because life changes everybody because each sibling has a different perspective on life and life takes them down different paths. So like my brothers and I, right, all raised by the same parents in the same household, and all four of us had a completely different experience or recollection of our experience now that we're adults. The only things we agree on are what our mom and dad did or didn't do, the way we felt growing up, any pain or joy that we experienced is completely different. And we all turned out to be very different people.
Well, and you're all, what, 4 years difference?
No, my brother after me is 18 months younger than me.
Okay, and then?
And then the next one's 3 years younger than him. And then 4 years.
To you. What's the age gap?
But from me to the youngest is 9 years.
9 years. So you're talking about almost a decade. That's a big difference right there.
Yeah.
And then you and the third one?
And
what's the gap?
Is an 80 is 4 years. 5 years.
Okay, so that's another big gap.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, you should have different ideas and memories.
No, I understand that we should have different memories, but we were raised in the same household. We attended the same church. My point being, it doesn't matter if you have the same parents, but we can all still have conversations, and we don't hate each other at the end of the day.
No, because your guys are your common frustration is always your parents. Like every time you guys have a conversation or everything, that it ends up being about your parents. You guys never fight about each other. You guys never,
because we were never in competition with one another to have to fight.
Okay, I guess that's how you see competition. I don't know.
I see competition as any time that you're told you're in competition growing up, which is something that you did.
I was never told I was in competition growing up.
with certain people in your household, yes, you were.
They never told me, hey, you're competing against this person.
Okay, then I guess the stories have changed. But
No, you're saying that I'm told. Like, no. They just tell you, oh, this person did this or this person did that. It's up to you if you take it as competition or not. It's like, okay, well, now I got to try harder than do better than them. Like, so is that, is that the competition? For me, competition is always just kind of like, okay, I can do that. I can do that better. I guess in a way, kind of like a one-upper, right? But for me, it was always like sports. Because I know.
Weren't you actually in like fist fights with family members because of competition to see who's better at a fist fight? Like, that's the stupidest crap I've ever heard, is families pitting people against each other to see which kid is better.
Well, that was me though. They didn't do it with anybody else but with me.
Exactly. They did it with you, and that created a negative competitive energy in your household.
But why was that?
I don't know why
they did it. You know why. We just said it the whole fucking time.
Because they didn't want your dad to favor you.
That, and because I was like, in their eyes, I was a bastard son.
And they always
How could their dad have a kid with another woman after he was married with their mom, and they're all older than me, and they're having kids, and then
they knew the truth.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't know, promise to a mom, or hoping that, make her proud, make her ghost proud or whatever, or just me being that competitive that I'm not getting even the satisfaction of failing like they want me to, because the odds have been against me, because the love wasn't there, the attention wasn't there. It doesn't matter.
Again,
that's what.
It doesn't matter who you're raised by.
Exactly. That was just me. That's how I was, right? That was how I thought, right? Mm-hmm. Did I go down moments when I was down and I was sad and I was depressed? Most definitely. It took me a while to see things in a different light. To become as positive or as cocky as people say.
Yeah, again, back to siblings. Like,
so that's the thing, though. Like, I'm getting it. Like, it's those siblings were like that because of that. That's my experience with it. They were older. I was just a kid. There were moments when they felt sorry for me and they cared for me, or maybe they used me as a bargaining chip with the pops. I don't. So that's my experience.
Okay. That's your experience. So again, I don't understand what the point of the conversation is then, because...
Yeah, me neither.
Because you're asking about siblings and then...
Yeah, I was asking one thing, but you're... Like I said...
But I don't know what you want to say about how nice siblings are. Like, my brothers and I have conversations, about our parents, but we talk about other things, not just our parents.
Yeah,
and we don't hate each other at the end of the day. Do we agree with one another? Not always. But... the fourth and the third, they have opposing views, and I can see all their points. Like, I get what each one of them is saying, where each one is coming from. Maybe because I'm the mediator, I don't know, because I'm the only girl, whatever the reasoning is. And then the second one, he's actually mediator between the other two.
Right. Yeah, no, it's always interesting, but I always laugh at how everybody always ends up picking on the little one.
Well, that's just the nature of what we always
did.
But
it's not like horrible picking. It's like innocent picking,
We don't,
But I think it is nice. Like, you guys talk. Like, when you guys talk, it's a conversation. It's not, you guys are not arguing. You're not at each other's throat. No, nobody's starting to scream. But yeah, like, if anything, I think you're more like a mediator between all the three of them at times, because you give everybody, like, you try to clarify what one's saying when another one kind of doesn't get it. But yeah, all three are different. They all have different point of views, and you are more open-minded, so you agree with all three of them because you rationalize what they're saying. You see their point of view. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just think that's nice. I just think that's really nice. Like, you guys are siblings. I like it. I see siblings that, like, your guys are one of my examples that I like when it comes to siblings. Like the conversation that you guys have, like how you guys hang out. Your little family group chat, check in, you text each other for their birthdays or call each other or make plans to see each other. Like, that's nice. That's nice. I don't know none of that stuff. I know a little bit of it, but not a lot of it.
Well, yeah,
Like you
and
said, maybe I was an only child, so I'm not a good example. So I was trying to talk about like the relationship that you have with your siblings. I was not trying to make this about me or have an argument of where I'm coming from or what I lived. I just wanted to give credit to you and your family and your siblings and some of the other siblings that I've seen. You know, I was talking about two brothers that played in the Super Bowl today, and you know they're competitors. And they were like, yeah, I don't care for you right now because we got to play each other. But at the end of the game, they're looking for one another and they're hugging each other and kissing each other and they're congratulating each other because, you know, the brother's actually sincerely happy for the other brother, even though the other one's going through a heartbreak, right? But that's that love for your brother, you know, like I thought that was beautiful in that point.
mm-hmm.
And my whole point was like the beauty about siblings. And we were going to talk about Charlie St. Cloud. And I show that to the boys so they can see, you know, the brotherly love.
Only
that
one
they
of
were,
them watched it.
Yeah, but you know, but they watched it and they realized and they were making their jokes. That's where I wanted to go. Like our kids sometimes, even though they're going through different stuff, like they love each other, they joke around, they clown, but it's a different relationship right now because they're younger. Who knows once they get older, if it will be closer or tighter, or you know, if I'm gonna be their common thing where it's like, you remember when Dad would say this, or remember when Dad would do that, you know, kind of like you guys do. That's where I wanted to talk about. That's where I wanted to go with it. I don't want to make it about me and my fucked up family and my issues. I don't want to
talk about the reality of our world is that, and the reality for our children is that they have that example. You know, yeah, they get the example of, on mom's side, the siblings that get along, right? We're always telling them, gosh, why can't you guys just get along, right? Why do you guys have to argue and fight? Why can't you guys? And then you get on them because of that relationship you had with that nephew, because you're always saying, brother's keeper, brother's keeper, brother's keeper. But again, your relationships with all your siblings, your nephew who you considered a sibling, are so different than the relationship your kids have with one another. So for you to tell them to be brother's keeper and it bothers you, right, that the eldest isn't his brother's keeper. It bothers you that he doesn't treat his little brother as well as you believe you treated your nephew.
Well, then I wish I had a brother. That's why I call it. Bottom line is that I wish I really had a brother. I wish I had somebody.
But you're saying you loved that.
I loved them, yes, like of course, yeah, I did, and I protected them at that age, right? So when they get to be our age, mm-hmm. and if they don't want to talk to each other, and they check in on each other maybe 3 times a year, that's on them. But right now, at this age, I took better care of him. I had a better relationship. I was my brother's keeper, even though he wasn't my brother. And it's not a lot to ask.
Yeah, but you make it seem like the boys are always at each other's throat and that they're completely awful to one another.
I don't know how I ever made it seem like that, but okay.
Because of how well you feel, how much more respectful you feel you were of your nephew. Like, again, back to this whole brother's keeper thing where you did everything for him and you protected him and all this stuff. And you get mad at our 14-year-old because he's not like that with his 10-year-old brother.
No, because he's always beating his ass and bullying him. And then he gets to school and he'll join his freaking friends and bully the little brother, which is total bullshit. He shouldn't be doing that. That's his brother. That's family.
He shouldn't be doing that.
So then that's where my issue comes from.
In this high school nature of his adolescent nature right now, he's, like you said, trying to find himself, trying to figure out who he is, but we can't force him to be nicer to his brother.
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't have to force him. That's his brother.
But there's lots of siblings that aren't nice
to him. So then you mean to tell me when you were in high school you were a bitch to your brother because that was a thing to do? In front of your friends,
I was a teenager.
You and your friends were like, well, fucking pick on your brother.
My brothers didn't go to school with me.
Okay, but you would have if he went to school with you.
I don't know.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up.
I don't know if I would have because the situation.
The answer should have been like, no, that's my brother.
Well, I don't know because I was a bitch when I was a teenager. I was not nice. I wanted to stay in my room all day watching MTV. That is all I wanted to do every day if I wasn't at school. I didn't want anything to do with my siblings. I wanted to be left alone. I was a teenager. I did not want to be around them.
Well, I guess that's because you had brothers, so you took them for granted. But if I'm pretty sure if something happened to one of them, then you would have cared at that moment in time. That was the difference, right? I was younger, and then my brothers were older, and I cared for them, and I loved them,
Well, is
and I
that
would
the
have done
difference
anything
of
for
being
them.
an only child?
But maybe
Because
you
you
wish
didn't
you have
have-
an idea of what it should have been like to have brothers. I guess for me, I guess when it
Maybe.
comes down to it, I don't know what it's like to be a brother. You're right, I don't. Bottom line is, you just told me I don't know how to be a brother because I never had brothers or sisters. So then I just have an idea of what a
Of what you would
sibling
like
relation.
it to
Yeah.
be like.
So then by that rule, I guess it falls the same too about a mother because I never had a fucking mother. So I should have an idea of how to love a mother or a father or a family because I never had none of those things either.
You had your father.
No, I didn't.
And you had your mother.
I mean, I
when
knew
you
who
were
my
young.
father was. I knew where he lived. I knew his name. I knew all of him. Yeah, he was around. Money was around. But I mean, I like great relationship or whatever. Like my I guess his other children had. We didn't have that. I tried it. Apparently, they had an issue with it. So then why are we talking about this then? It's just so. In other words,
You're the one who want to talk
yeah,
about
no,
siblings.
I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes down to it, though.
I mean, you're trying to say that you like the way my siblings and I are with one another, but like,
Yeah. You guys
okay.
talk every week, like on a regular, like
No,
even
we
a text.
don't.
Yeah, pull out your phone and when was the last time you guys texted?
It's a group text where
That's
they
a conversation,
send, like,
though.
It's not a conversation.
It's a nowadays. That's how people converse
It's-
instead of calling each
It's
other.
not a conversation. We send each other pictures, or a joke, or a comment on, hey, I'm doing this, or a question about something. It's not like conversations, and it's a question to mom and dad too.
Yeah, well, I guess I picked the wrong fucking subject then. I guess I went down the wrong place. Oh, my bad. I guess this is a wasted episode then.
It's not a wasted episode. The whole point was like you want to talk about siblings, and in talking about siblings, you have to talk about the good and the bad.
Yeah, I guess so. But then again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So
I'm not saying that you don't know what the F you're talking
that's
about.
pretty much what you said.
No, in essence, you're an only child because you're saying, oh, well, they're my
In
other one.
essence, I'm an only child, so
You're
I
the
don't know
one-
anything about siblings
you're the
because I'm an only
one-
child.
You're the one who's been constantly saying, my half sibling this, my half sibling that.
You know, I
my
never called
nephew
them
this.
like that either. I would never refer to them as my half siblings. To me, they were always my brother. Remember, you know, it's funny that the second brother always had a saying. It was either you're my brother or you're not. That's what he used to say when people would be like, "Oh, that's your half brother." He used to say that all the time.
But they
which is
didn't
funny,
treat
right?
you like that in the end.
At the end, no. You know, I really don't know. Maybe one day they'll answer the phone call and I can ask them, and then they'll let me know why we're distant. Maybe I'll record it. You know, that way we can have it. I don't know.
My whole point on the whole sibling things is it really bothers me the way your siblings are with you. You say that my siblings are great. Okay, we're not perfect by any
Okay.
means. We have the same parents who got divorced.
I don't know what to say because you're gonna judge about my siblings, but I can't judge about your siblings.
There's no judge. I'm not.
Yeah,
saying
you're saying,
you can't
oh, I'm
judge
saying
them.
that your siblings are great, but you know, it's just I don't know.
My siblings aren't great. They're better than yours. That's about it. But they're not like, oh, the best siblings in the world. Like I hear about other sibling relationships where they're hanging out every weekend. They go out to dinner on a regular to catch up. They go on trips together. All these things. I do have my younger brother who's trying to do that, right? He's trying to make that happen and keep the family unified in that sense. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Is everyone on board about it? It's something new. It's not perfect.
I think your siblings are great.
Well, thank you.
I mean, they look out for you all the time. Every
We've
time
got
you
each
need it.
other's back if
Yeah,
we need
so
something.
that's what makes it a great sibling, right? They check in, they call, they visit, they.
But there's people who have even better relationships with their siblings.
How so?
And they're not necessarily having the same parents.
I just don't see it. I mean, you got a brother that paid for a family trip for everybody to be together.
That just
You got a
happened
brother
last
that took
year.
us in and helped us out when we were in need. You have a brother that's always looking out for you and helping out, reaching, talking. But if that's not great to you, then fuck. I
I'm
must
just
be
saying
horrible in
that
your eyes
there's
as a husband then.
relationships, sibling relationships out there better than what I have with my brothers.
And I'm sure there's way worse ones too.
Yeah, you're right. There's way worse ones than the one you have with your siblings.
No, yours. We're not talking about mine because I'm an only child. I don't know
Oh
nothing.
my God.
You're the one that knows more about siblings because you have siblings. I don't.
All right. Well, then I guess there's nothing else to talk about. All right. Well, then, good night. Thank you for listening. Again, if you have half siblings and, or, if you have half siblings and you get along fabulously with them, let us know. If you have the same parents and you don't get along with your siblings, let us know. We're just trying to figure out if what I am saying makes sense or if what he's saying makes sense. Anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you if you made it this far. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.